Hi everyone, welcome back to Trees and Turtles. My name's Imogen. In today's video, I am sharing how to determine whether someone is likely to change. If you're in like a toxic situation and you're kind of like hanging on to this hope that someone's going to change for you, I have put together a little list of criteria to determine whether they are actually going to change or whether you're wasting your time. So if you're not already subscribed, make sure to do that, give this video a thumbs up, follow me on Instagram, and let's get started. Social relationships can be difficult, and many of us would generally like to give people the benefit of the doubt. However, that can sometimes lead to us putting up with toxic relationships and situations in the hope that the person in question will change. So here's how to determine whether you're wasting your time or whether someone might actually change, because sometimes they do, but often they don't. So how do we know? The first thing that you need to ask yourself is, do they listen and seek to understand where they've gone wrong, okay? If you're having issues with someone in your life, they should know about it, okay? Don't be one of these people who doesn't communicate. You need to communicate. And I know that I'm starting off the video with this and you might be like, Imogen, I've already tried communicating and you are wasting my time here. You can skip ahead in the video, okay? I'm gonna talk about what happens if you have communicated and they don't give a fuck later on in the video, but I just needed to get this out there first because if you haven't communicated with them, it's worth a shot, okay? You got nothing to lose, okay? But if they're dismissive or they don't try to understand where they've gone wrong, that's an immediate red flag that they're not open to change, okay? So pay attention to what happens when you try and communicate a problem to them, because that's really telling. It's like kind of a litmus test for like their overall attitude and what might happen in the future. All right, so step 2, you've communicated, you've said, hey, look, I need this thing in our dynamic to change. I need you to alter your behavior. I need this to change if our friendship or relationship or like our dynamic is going to work. And, you know, if this doesn't change, then I might have to end this like dynamic, okay? So we've had that conversation, we've communicated, fantastic. We've been really clear about it, I hope, spot on. So number 2, if they understand, do they care, okay? So once you've communicated with someone, do they care? Have they apologized? Have they come to you and been like, I'm so sorry, I had no idea it was hurting you that much, or I had no idea I was hurting you at all, like it was a mistake, I'm really sorry, I will change, and please forgive me because I never meant to hurt you, okay? So have they apologized? A good person will care when they've hurt someone, and they will apologize. And there are different kinds of apologies. This means a proper apology, in person if possible, showing understanding of how they hurt you, and they want to make it up to you and do better in future. So a good apology needs to have all of those components. It needs to, like, they need to acknowledge where they've gone wrong, and like in person if possible. They need to show understanding of how they hurt you, so that's kind of like acknowledging where they went wrong. They need to try and make it up to you, and they need to change their behavior in future, okay? So them demonstrating understanding of all of those 4 principles is really important to understand whether it's actually a proper apology or not. Okay, so the next thing I want you to consider is, have they changed their behavior in the past? So it's all very well for someone to say, I understand, I apologize, I'm so sorry, like I never meant to hurt you. But it's all bullshit, okay? And if they've shown patterns in the past where they don't change their behavior, then that's a red flag. But if they have a good track record of changing their behavior when they were wrong in the past, either with other people or with you, because, you know, there are lots of ways that we can accidentally hurt our friends. And it might be the case that you have this conversation with them and they apologize and they change for something else, and then they accidentally hurt you another way, okay? But if they changed in the past, it's a really good sign that they're open to changing in the future as well. But if they have either no track record, so you don't know how they're going to react, or a bad track record of behavior change, then be wary. They might be all talk, okay? And it's very common. And I got really confused about this because in the past I've been in a very toxic situation where the person involved would apologize to me and they'd be like, oh, I didn't know it hurt you. And then they would go right back to it. Like it was bullshit. Like they did not care, and they were playing me really hard because I'd be like, oh, thank you so much for apologizing, and then I would get played all over again because they would do the exact same thing, and I just got so sick of it. Okay, so I learned to watch these behavior patterns to understand when someone's lying and when they're not. Okay, the next thing that I need you to look out for is the change that you've observed in the past permanent? And is the change, if they've changed for you currently, is that also permanent? So often, and I've experienced this in the thing I was talking about just before, often toxic people can change their behavior superficially in order to pacify you temporarily, or to like get you off their back, or like you know, whatever, just to pacify you and end the argument. And then, once they think they aren't being watched, and this was the fucked up thing about it, they go right back to their old behavior, okay? This can make you feel absolutely crazy, okay? So in this scenario where I had this, like, toxic situation, the person apologized to me, and then as soon as I was out of sight, they went right back to it behind my back. And one of my other friends had to tell me about it. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so pissed, okay? Because they just changed superficially in order to, like, get me out of the way. And then they started mistreating me again when I didn't, like, know about it. And I was just like, oh my God, this is so fucked up. Anyway, sorry, I got pissed there. And they can use it to gaslight you, which I've also experienced. They'd be like, oh no, I've changed. And yes, and you changed right back again. So there was no actual change at all. Someone can do a complete 180 and then they can do another 180 right back to where they started. So is the change permanent? Really important, because if someone's like, oh, I'm sorry, and they change, and then they are really sneaky and they change right back again, that's bullshit. That's a red flag. And they have not changed at all. All right. So what is your gut feeling? I've talked about how to listen to your gut feeling in a previous video. So if you want to, like, learn about that, then please go and check out that video that I made on how to listen to your gut feeling. It's really important, if I say so myself. But ultimately, if someone makes you feel negatively, or you've got this sort of sinking feeling, you don't have to be around them. Okay, this applies even if they've apologized and they've changed for the better permanently. Sometimes trust is irrevocably broken and you don't need to feel bad about that, okay? Sometimes it is better to part ways with someone, and a good person will understand that too, you know? Okay, even if they've changed and they'll be like, you know what, I've changed, but I hurt you in the past, and that's okay if you don't want to talk to me anymore. Like, if they are mature, they will understand that. So listen to your gut feeling on this topic. And finally, there's one thing that I really, really want you to remember, and if you take one thing away from this video, I want it to be this, and that's why I put it at the end. So if you've made it this far, then congrats, you're about to get something really important. You are not a rehab center for shitty people, okay? I'm going to say that again. You are not a rehab center for shitty people. Yes, maybe people will change, but you shouldn't have to coach them through that unless you want to. And certainly not if it's affecting you negatively in the process. You are under no obligation to be a rehab center for shitty people and their broken personalities, okay? Because that is going to be detrimental to you. Now, if you want to try and help them, then that is lovely. And if you're doing that out of the goodness of your own heart and not out of a sense of obligation, then I applaud you. But please don't feel obligated to do that. Your mental health should be your first priority, and that's not selfish, it's good self-care. It's absolutely essential. So you are not a rehab center for shitty people. Please, please, please remember that. And that is the end of the video. I hope this was helpful to you. If you are struggling in, like, a sort of toxic situation, I hope it's given you some clarity, maybe some comfort, maybe some confidence. We are all about those things here. And please subscribe. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. I'll see you in the next video. Follow me on Instagram. Did I say that? Can't remember. Bye.